everybody. Michael Rivers here from JurisQ.com. I'm back with Marina Shepelsky. Marina, thank you for coming back. Marina, there's a very, I would say, a little bit painful question that I have to ask you, that people sometimes ask me to ask attorneys, especially divorce attorneys. And it comes to a sensitive topic, which is attorney fees and attorney consultations. It's no secret that a contested divorce, a divorce where people contest, they argue with each other about custody, about how to split assets, it's much more expensive than uncontested, where people just agree how to split everything. And this is where the fees of attorneys becomes a very big topic. So can you please explain to us what are some common misconceptions about attorney fees by a contested divorce, and what are the expectations that each party should have, a client and attorney, about their responsibilities and about the kind of fees to expect?
So we want to talk about the wrong expectations that clients have from divorce and from divorce lawyers, right? I've been doing this work for almost 20 years. And I've collected, like, I could write a book about everything that people come into the situation expecting and how wrong it is and how it creates the way that divorce flows in a bad way, just like in simple language, right? People create stories in their head that they're simply untrue. And then they expect you, the attorney, to play into their confused stories. Right? And you can't, and none of us can. And so that creates almost like an animosity between us. Instead of being on the same side, even you said to me the other day, we were doing a radio show, that people in jail think that their first enemy is the prosecutor, in divorce it's the judge, and their second enemy is their lawyer.
Yeah, unfortunately,
right?
Very unfortunate, that is true.
And this is what people are thinking. They're coming into this.
Who needs to help you, be your professional to guide you along the way, that same person could be your worst enemy or second worst.
And people say to me, I had a divorce in 2009. My lawyer and the other lawyer agreed between the two of them, and they screwed me. My lawyer was corrupt. The other side bought my lawyer out. This is bullshit. Okay, I'm just saying, this is an internet thing. This is BS. That almost never happens, with like 1 in a million exceptions. People have misconceptions about the legal system, about what a divorce is like, and so they would rather believe that that's a weak position to take. That's saying I didn't make any decisions in my life. The lawyer did everything for me and they screwed me, right?
It's a
so number one,
theory.
The number one misconception is that your lawyer is your enemy. You are your own worst enemy. You look in the mirror, there's your worst enemy. The things that people do when they're married and the divorce, I could never do for them. I could never create the horrible situations that people get themselves into. Accept it. If you accept it, we're already on the same page, okay? Because every divorce has some contribution by you. You contributed to the mess that you're in right now. Please accept it. I know I'm not sounding like your friend right now, but believe me, a good friend will tell you this. Like your mom will always tell you, you look bad in that horrible dress. I'm the mom, you understand? You created this situation. Now we have to unscrew this. Untangle the web.
You have to own up to it.
You have to own up to the mess. And women are included in this. When you say, I was such a good mom, all I did was this and that. When we start talking, we realize you had also done things wrong and the judge will yell at you for it. But let's go from the beginning.
Right.
The first wrong expectation is when you call somebody who does divorces, you don't want to even bother to have a consultation. You say to my receptionist who picks up the phone, Shepelsky Law Group, how can I help you? They said, tell me how much a divorce will cost. I have 2 kids and a house in Staten Island. And the receptionist truthfully, honestly says, I don't know, sir or
How could you
madam.
know?
How can you know? When you talk to me during our consultation, I'm going to repeat the same thing back to you. I cannot possibly know how much your divorce will cost because I cannot do a flat fee on a contested divorce with kids, properties, and a lot of complex issues. It's just not done. Because lawyers charge by the hour for litigation. And I might need to hire for you, and you will pay for this, an expert, a forensic accountant, for example, because a lawyer cannot possibly go through 3 years of all of your multiple bank accounts, investment accounts, IRAs, 401k, 403, this, and tell you how much you will split up. So expect to have an hourly retainer. Expect the lawyer to be honest with you.
Because there's so many unknowns, right, Marina? Because you never know how many motions will be filed. What are you going to be arguing about? What if your spouse?
I cannot quote to you on the phone.
POS,
right.
Marina, what if your spouse complete POS and he or she just wants to prolong the process, just to drain you from legal fees, just
and they will drain you. Right?
Just to use the court system.
You cannot take your stress out on your lawyer who's there to help you. Because if they set out to drain you, they will drain you, and the court will let them. Because we live in a democratic country.
And
we live in America where each person has a right to have their day in court, even if it's a crazy day. We have one client now where the poor man, let's say he works in a bank. And he's really smart and he understands paperwork, and he married a mail away bride from another country. She is draining him. She doesn't have a lawyer. She has mental issues, in all honesty. She's always filing motions, appealing things. She doesn't understand our legal system. She keeps asking for things that are not realistic. She keeps saying he should support her for the rest of her life. The marriage was 1 year and 8 months. Okay, he stupidly put his apartment that he had with his parents, right? He's an adult. He's in his 50s already, by the way.
Right.
In her name too. He added her name to their family house that he owned for a short marriage of 1 year and 8 months. We are still not able to get rid of her. And they get really upset, the clients. They're like, well, I have a court order that says she has no rights to this apartment. But I'm like,
what's
okay,
amazing? She's a mail order bride, but she's already so knowledgeable about how the U.S. system works.
All she does is just keep filing stuff. It's not even that, she just keeps filing things. And every time she does, I didn't make that happen. Do you think I'm happy having to go back and facing the crazy person in court all the time? I'm not, right? And
well, what do you answer to people who say, you know what, some attorneys specifically on purpose prolong proceedings, prolong divorce, just to suck out more legal fees from you?
I'm going to tell you right now, I know 1 or 2 people like that. The rest of the 180 people I know are not at all like that. And I'm going to tell you specifically who those people are. I already know. I'm not going to name names. I'm just saying the rest out of 200 people, 2 will do that. 198 people will not do that. So how do you check? How do you know who is going to do it? Right. This is how you know. When you ask them to guarantee you that you will keep the house and the kids and all of the assets, and they say, of course you will. I will do everything. You will keep everything. That's the lawyer that's going to drain you. And at the end, you will lose because all along you have that wrong expectation. That's why I call it
it's illegal. It's unethical, Marina, for attorney to guarantee anything.
Of course it's unethical, but who is going to complain? Most lawyers feel bad and they will not complain on the other turn. Right. And it doesn't mean that I agree or approve or think it's acceptable that this behavior in another lawyer exists. But am I going to write a complaint and take somebody's livelihood away? No. Most of the time, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
there are attorneys that specialize in this. There are attorneys that specialize in suing.
Yes, there are. There's 2 that I know in the world.
Yeah,
There's who wants to deal with this? This is dirty work, right? So that's from the beginning, people have the wrong expectation. They don't want to bother with the consultation. They want you to quote them some flat fee. And when you say, okay, fine, this complicated situation, I estimate is going to be 60,000. What? Are you insane? You're a thief. You're just out to get my money. But if you're asking me to estimate, that's what I'm going to estimate. I usually estimate by the amount of hours. And then we know what our hourly fee is. And I'm not going to like, you know, I know how much work a contested divorce is. That means our whole team is going to be involved. They're going to call every day crying, which is okay, but I'm not a psychologist, right? They're going to ask a million questions, which is normal, but all that is our time and we bill for our time. Right. So please don't ask. A good ethical attorney will never be able to tell you how much a contested divorce like that will cost. And the other thing is people say,
a range. You may know a range, but it's not guaranteed.
I may know, but sometimes I don't know. Unexpected things happen, as you said. Yeah. Or when they say, my wife and I agreed on everything, it's going to be uncontested. Can you quote? I'm like, okay, fine. If you agreed on everything, it'll be 3,500 or 5,000. Let's just pick a number. It doesn't matter, right? We start working on it, and my retainers have a cap on flat fees. So sometimes we do a flat fee. If it's truly there's very little issues and everybody agrees, then we can do an uncontested and a flat fee with a contract. We do a divorce with a contract. We don't go to court. We just work things out, right? We start out uncontested. A month into it, they have a fight. He goes to jail. She calls the cops on him. He brought his girlfriend to the kids' kindergarten show. Huh?
Honeymoon is over. Back to
the honeymoon of them agreeing is over. And then when we start to look at the paperwork, it turns out that he's been living on credit cards. And now that he has to pay alimony, the wife says, look, we have this lifestyle. Right. You know, there's this luxury home in Long Island. There's this, he has a Rolls Royce. I should get $20,000 a month in alimony. And it turns out that all of the things that he was paying were using credit cards for himself and the business. So now he's wiped out. How can we expect to do this? And how is this going to stay uncontested? This will never get resolved.
Marina, I want to summarize what you were saying here in that, and we had a whole video on this, on contested versus uncontested divorces, the differences. And it seems like it's more prudent to sometimes agree, go into compromise. You may get a little bit less than what you expected, but you're going to save yourself aggravation. You're going to save your attorney aggravation. You're going to save yourself legal fees, and you'll be able to move on. Marina, you always say, and I love when you say that even this too will pass. And in a year, 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to move on. You're going to meet somebody else, and you're going to close this chapter in your life.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Marina, thank you so much. We appreciate clearing up the misconceptions about legal fees in contested divorces. Of course, if you have a particular situation, a question, call Marina Shepelsky directly, schedule a consultation so that you can manage your expectations. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Marina, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.